A very good evening, Team Zimbabwe. Maswarase. So we need to take a look on Professor Jonathan Moyo. He said something very important, but it's going to be helpful when we are taking a look on the political landscape in the nation of Zimbabwe. Jonathan Moyo says proof that Triple C in fact retained the position of Secretary General after the party was unveiled on 24 January. And you need to go through. He has indicated a lot of things, very important issues there, which he has raised, which we need to take a closer look on. He says, Nelson Chamisa and Gift Ostalosesva have been leading the false claims with no evidence to support claims that the position of Secretary General does not exist in Triple C. So this is his argument. Remember that Triple C is a new organization. As I said earlier in other broadcasts, Triple C does not have the post of Secretary General because his functions are now occupied through directors. There is a director who is in charge of the roles of the Secretary General there. So there is no need for the Secretary General post to continue existing. So let us go through. He says it is common cause, supported verifiable facts in the public domain that Triple C was formed on 22 December 2022. This is a typing error, I believe. And he says by the National Council of the MDCA, led by Nelson Chamisa, which met at the Crystal Lodge in Harare under the facilitation of a prominent and respected Oxford University-educated Zimbabwean academic. Triple C was then unveiled 2 days later on 24 January 2022 when it presented to the nomination court its candidates for the 26th 22 by-elections. And he says it's also common cause that neither Triple C leadership nor constitution changed. This is where Jonathan Moyo is lying. The leadership of Triple C changed. The constitution itself, it changed. Because Triple C was asked by Zimbabwe Electoral Commission, which does have that role, that specific role, to note down political parties. When you want to form a political party, you notify ZEC. So there is nothing else. For your party to be called a party, you must deal with ZEC. The documents which you have submitted to ZEC, the information which you have submitted to ZEC, it exposes everything and it shows that Jonathan Moyo here is simply waffling. There's no constitution which continued. There is no leadership which continued. CCC is a new party. When they said new, they meant new. How can you take something from your past to the new? There was a transition which happened, and that transition didn't carry the past to the present. So Nelson Chamisa, the reason why he led the Triple C is because he's the founder. He is the face of the people. He is the trusted face and the trusted force. So let us go back to this. He says, based on its interim constitution that took effect after 31 March 2020 Supreme Court decision that directed the MDC to hold an extraordinary Congress based on its 2014 structures to regularize the party leadership positions. In this connection, here are 4 examples. So he's giving us examples of where the title of SG remained being used. And he's citing the tweets which were done in January by Triple C media team, and in February by Triple C team. So I'm going to respond to this. You know, when you are having a transition, not everybody understands that you quickly need to change everything. This is a transition. You are moving from MDC alliance, which has been grabbed by the Monzoras and the MDCs, and you are moving to a new political party. But when you're moving there are certain people who are following you. So when the leaders made these decisions to say we are now forming a new party called Triple C, not everyone was part of those decision-making bodies. What it means is this is just a miscommunication which was happening. That is the reason why President Nelson Chamisa had to clarify. In the same tweet, Jonathan Moyo here has shown us that President Nelson Chamisa indeed clarified that matter and asked, who is SG? We have no such titles in the citizens' movement. And he was clearly indicating that the continuous use of the titles of SG, blah, blah, was wrong. So, but the most important thing here is to understand, Kuti, whatever argument presented, Jonathan Moyo has simply or has simplified this matter and has clearly showed us that one way or the other, we do not have Tshabangu as a Secretary General. If there is somebody who must be claiming to be a Secretary General, it will be Charlton Wende. If Tshabangu is talking about the MDC alliance purported structures, then what it means is that he is out of order because it is Charlton Wende who must be taking that position, not Tshabangu. But that position does not exist. Why do I say so? The 2014, the 2020 structures cannot fit in because remember, when the MDC held its congress, Monzora was part of that congress, and he was defeated there by Charlton Wende. Then later on, the MDC was taken over by Coupe and subsequently taken over by Monzora. Then what happened is that Triple C was to be formed later in 2022. But before that, the MDC and the MDC alliance became personal to Douglas Monzora and his team. So there was no need, or the reason why we had to form Triple C is because the MDC was no longer in the hands of Nelson Chamisa and his team. That was the argument. That was the reason why Nelson Chamisa moved totally away from the MDC. According to the court cases, the MDCT was given to Thokozani Coupe and Monzora took it from the Congress, which happened. The MDC alliance, Monzora continuously used the MDC alliance because MDCT was a partner in the MDC alliance. So the court nullified the existence of Nelson Chamisa within the MDCT and within the MDC alliance. The leadership of Nelson Chamisa was nullified. Therefore, how can you say these structures crossed over when when MDC alliance was left with name 2? Douglas Monzora and his team, they used the name MDC Alliance, not MDCT. That is a fact. So how can you say so and so crossed over when there's a court order which is clear when Douglas Monzora clearly used the name MDC Alliance and Triple C used, and Nelson Chamisa used a new name, Triple C. So this is simply confusion, which is which Jonathan Moyo is trying to plant in the people. Jonathan Moyo's role and duty is to cause chaos, is to cause confusion. He continues to throw statement after statement. He continues to throw articles which are meant to confuse the people, which are meant to dishearten the people. That is his role. So this alone, this argument by Jonathan Moyo, it is not logical because number one, there was no structures to talk about within Triple C because it was a completely new formation and organization which carried nothing from the MDC alliance. except those who were left partyless, those who were left without a party, made a decision to form a new political party, which is Triple C, which is led by Nelson Chamisa. And the people who are within the administration of that party are known. The people within the structure of that party are known. If somebody else is saying, I disagree with how things are going, then they have their own rights to start their own things. You cannot continue to ride on other people's popularity for a very long time. Start your own things, and the people will follow you if you have any ideas. So the second issue, or the last issue here, is that if Jonathan Moyo believes that the past structures are supposed to be in place, what happened to Charlton Wende? Charlton Wende is the person who must be saying, I am so and so. So the fact that other people are claiming to positions, or are trying by all means to sabotage the party because they want positions, is just a clear indication that these people do not care about the people. They care about themselves. They care about their families. They care about pocketing money. They care about positions, not development of the nation of Zimbabwe. That is the reason why you see there is no coherence. The leadership and the other greedy people, they think parallel and do things differently. It is what it is in Zimbabwe. But I would want just to conclude saying Jonathan Moyo is failing to actually deliver his mandate as a bootlicker, number one. Number two, Semurakashi, the chief Murakashi, who is meant to misinform the public, send wrong signals so that the people discharge themselves from the party or detach themselves from the party. That is wrong. So it is what it is. Let us talk in the comment section. What do you think? Let us have that conversation.